My king, tonight I will tell you a tale that will chill your blood. A story of love twisted into something dark and deadly. It is the story of a merchant's desperate love. 3 golden apples that sealed a woman's fate, and a Grand Vizier racing against time, with death as his prize for failure. They relate, O King of the Age, that the Caliph summoned his Grand Vizier one night. He said to him, "I desire to go down into the city. I want to question the common folk about those who govern them. Those of whom they complain, we will remove from office. Those whom they praise, we will promote." The Grand Vizier replied, "I hear and I obey." So the Caliph went down with the Grand Vizier and his guards. They walked through the streets and markets. As they threaded through a narrow alley, they came upon a very old fisherman. On his head sat a fishing net and a crate for small fish. In his hands was a staff. As he walked, he sang mournfully of his poverty and hardship. When the Caliph heard his verses of despair, he spoke to the Grand Vizier. "See this poor man and note his song. Surely they point to his great need." Then he approached the fisherman. "O Sheikh, what is your occupation?" The poor man answered, "O my lord, I am a fisherman. I have a family to keep. I have been out since midday. Not a thing has Allah made my portion to feed my family. I cannot even buy them a supper. I hate my life and hanker after death." The Caliph said, "Tell me, will you return with us to the river? Will you cast your net on my luck? Whatever comes up, I will buy from you for 100 gold pieces." The fisherman rejoiced when he heard these words. "On my head be it, I will go back with you." Returning with them to the riverbank, he made a cast. He waited a while. Then he hauled in the rope and dragged the net ashore. There appeared in it a chest, padlocked and heavy. The Caliph examined it and lifted it. Finding it weighty, he gave the fisherman 200 dinars. He sent him about his business. The guards carried the chest to the palace. They set it down and lit the candles. The Grand Vizier and the guards broke it open. Inside, they found a piece of carpet bound with rope. They cut the rope and unrolled it. Within was a woman's cloak. They pulled it aside. Beneath the cloak lay a young lady, fair as silver, lifeless and still. When the Caliph looked upon her, he cried, "Alas!" Tears ran down his cheeks. Turning to the Grand Vizier, he said, "O dog of ministers! Shall folk be murdered in our reign? Shall they be cast into the river to burden us on the day of judgment? By Allah, we must avenge this woman on her murderer. He shall die the worst of deaths." And presently he added, "Now, as surely as we are descended from the noble line, if you do not bring us him who slew her, I will hang you at the gate of my palace, you and 40 of your kinsmen by your side." The Grand Vizier's blood turned cold. "Grant me 3 days' delay," he pleaded. "We grant you this," said the Caliph, his voice like thunder. So the Grand Vizier went out from before him. He returned to his own house full of sorrow. "How shall I find him who murdered this woman?" he said to himself. "If I bring other than the murderer, it will be laid to my charge. In truth, I know not what to do." He kept to his house for 3 days. He searched frantically through every lead. He questioned every informant, but he found nothing. On the 4th day, the Caliph sent one of the chamberlains for him. As he came into the presence, the ruler asked him, "Where is the murderer of the woman?" The Grand Vizier answered, "O Commander of the Faithful, am I inspector of murdered folk? Should I know who killed her?" The Caliph was furious at his answer. He commanded that a crier cry through the streets of Baghdad, Whoever would see the hanging of the Grand Vizier with 40 of his kinsmen before the palace gate, let him come and let him look. The people flocked out from all quarters of the city. They came to witness the execution, not knowing the cause. They set up the gallows. They made the Grand Vizier and the others stand underneath, ready for execution. Every eye was looking for the Caliph's signal. The crowd wept for the Grand Vizier and his cousins. But lo and behold, a young man pushed his way through the people, fair of face and neat of dress, eyes black and bright, cheeks red as roses. He stood immediately before the Grand Vizier and said, "Safety to you from this strait, O Prince of Ministers. I am the man who slew the woman you found in the chest. So hang me for her and do her justice on me." When the Grand Vizier heard the youth's confession, he rejoiced, his own deliverance, but he grieved for the fair youth. And while they were yet talking, behold, another man pressed forward through the people, well advanced in years. He came to the Grand Vizier and the youth and said, "Ho, you the minister, believe not the words of this youth. Of a surety none murdered the woman but I. Take her revenge on me this moment." Then the young man protested, "O minister, this is an old man in his dotage. He knows not what he says. I am he who murdered her. Do you avenge her on me?" The old man replied, "O my son, you are young. You desire the joys of the world. I am old and weary. I will offer my life as ransom for you and for the minister. No one murdered the woman but I." The Grand Vizier marveled at all this strangeness. Taking the young man and the old man, he carried them before the Caliph. After kissing the ground 7 times, he said, "O Commander of the Faithful, I bring you the murderer of the woman." "Where is he?" asked the Caliph. "This young man says, 'I am the murderer.' This old man says, 'I am the murderer.' Behold, here are the 2 standing before you." The Caliph looked at them both. "Which of you killed the woman?" The young man replied, "No one slew her save I." The old man answered, "Indeed, none killed her but myself." Then said the Caliph to the Grand Vizier, "Take both and hang them." But the Grand Vizier replied, "Since one of them was the murderer, to hang the other would be mere injustice." "By him who raised the firmament," cried the youth, "I am he who slew the woman." But dawn had now reached the palace windows, and Scheherazade, seeing the light of day, fell silent. The king's heart burned with questions, yet he spared her life, eager for the tale's continuation.